Hi, and welcome to my 15th episode in my Christmas calendar series for 2023. And we are going to continue with the counters as we promised last time. And I'm also going to, I'm not going to go to do the breadboard this time. I do have to make finished a device to make more LEDs available. Otherwise, I have to make a cascade of breadboards to make all the outputs, and that will be kind of a sketchy thing. So I'm going to make this board to put on more LEDs so that you will be able to show things better, and it will be easier me to structure the cables on the breadboard to make it not more structured, because that's not my thing, but it's easier to take things up and down on the breadboard when I have this. So that will be the end of the video, but now we start with today's theory, and it's about counters. Yes, as we said, this is the December episode 15, and we have called this episode "You Can Count on Me," and we are going to continue with the counters. Then we are also going to couple this up on the breadboard, but that won't be until next episode. I will do some theory first, and I also will make a contraception that can make it easier to display this on the board. And the decade counter we are going to look at is the 7490. We could have taken some 190 series or even later series 300 and something, but this is as good as any, and it's not very complicated. This is a basic straightforward counter, and it doesn't take much to make this work. You only have to be aware of one thing, and that is that this counter is actually divided, so that you can use this as a special counter where you divide up your count. And to make this work and count, you have to put one of the reset inputs, and there actually are 4 of them, and you have to put one of each R0 or R9 to low to make this count. If you are having them high, they will all stay low, and if you are having this one high and this one high, they will set them to 9, and that's why they called reset 0 and reset 9, because reset 0 will put it to 0, and both high reset 9 will preload this with 9. But when all of them are low, you are going to get a count each time you clock. And as this is a decade counter, it would count to 9 and reset itself and start all over again. So that's basically what you have on this counter, and this counter does not have a carry flag out. But as we are not going to use it on this, it doesn't matter. But the bigger counters, they do have both carry in and carry out. And what we are going to do to make this work, I said this was a special counter, and this is not coupled all together. The output A is not feeding back to anything. So we actually have to connect output A with the B input, and input A is where we are going to put our counts, and this is going to be GND, of course, ground, and you have VCC up here, plus 5 volt, and here you have 2 pins that are not connected. They are not connected internally, so this could have been a 12-pin IC, but there is no 12-pin ICs in the 74 series logic. The smallest one is 14 on these old chips. And what we are going to do with these resets, we are just going to put all of them low. Then we are making sure we get a count out of this. And we are going to display this on 4 LEDs to see that the counting sequence is as in the truth table. And we are going to connect this through our inverter circuit, where we do have this like so. So this is the LED like so, and up to 5 volt here. And this is the same way that we have looked at this before, and we are going to do the same for all 4 outputs here. So that's one thing we are going to do on our board. We are also going to look on a binary counter. It was this one I had lying closest. This is 193, and I actually got lots of them. I got 191s, 192s, I got all of these series. So also I had decade counters in this series. And this is a slightly more complicated counter, because you can see here it has inputs. This counter here you can only preload with 0 or 9. But this counter here you can actually preload it with whatever you like. If you put in the data bits you want to load it with on these inputs, it will actually start to count from there. And it can both count down and count up. And it has outputs for borrow or carry, so that you can couple several of these counters together and make them count more than the 4 bits that we are counting today. And you also have data clear and VCC, and you also have this nice diagram here that shows what you're going to do. It shows here what happens when you put on a clear on a load. So it says that here when you push load here, it actually will load what you have into the counter down here, output. And the carry and output flags, you can see this when it turns here, it will give the output on the carry flag. And when you count down, you can see here that you get the borrow flag when you reach a 0. And we are going to do about the same with this counter, but in this easy exercise we are not bothering with loading anything into the data bits. So that means we are leaving them floating, the A, B, C, D inputs. They will be high, so this will actually start. Yeah, we might ground them and to see that there is a difference, but then it will start with all bits high, the 15 in binary digits. And the clear, we are going to put a resistor like so. This is a high input and it's a high signal, so we are going to put this one to ground, use our normal 2.2K resistor, and we are going to tie this into a push button, so we will see the clear, like so. And the outputs, we are going to do the same as we did with the others. We are going to put them into the inverter and have them tied like so up to 5 volt. And this is 470 ohms, like that. That will give a 10 milliamp output. That will give a reasonable output on this LED. And this is the same that we have done before. And we will connect our pulses to the count up or count down. And this is edge triggered on a positive input. So when we feed our pulse train here, the change on the output will happen here, like so. Yeah, and the load is active low, so if we leave that one floating, it doesn't matter. So we are going to leave the inputs here, the preload inputs and the load, and the borrow and carry is outputs. They we are going to leave. We can of course connect this also to a LED to see what happens. And if you look at you can see that the borrow and carry, they are high and they are going low. So that actually means that I don't need this one. I can connect this LED like so and get a good enough result here, because this will give me enough. Yeah, I of course have to have a resistor here. Otherwise I might get something hot. And this is, a 470 ohm, like so. So that is what we are going to do next. But I'm going to show you some more things about counters, and then I need to have a bit more of an output. So what I'm going to show you now is something that I made on one of the perf boards that actually is the same kind of configuration that we have on our breadboard, but with the soldering. Yeah, what you are seeing now in 8 times speed is the construction of a contraption that I wanted to design before we continue with counters on the breadboard. And I need a way to display up until 20 LEDs. And I wanted this to be quick and easy to connect, otherwise we would use lots and lots of time just to clean up the breadboard each time. And of course I could have done this on a breadboard, but I was thinking of this perf board here that is actually something that my brother has made. It deviates from the standard boards by having more pins on each side of the center lines. And that means that I can have ICs spread more out on the board. And the way the leads go on this, I can show you here on this drawing. So as you can see, the long line of power rails, they are connected all the way, and the same with the leads on each side. And because he has extended this to 8 lines, it's possible to put an IC in the middle, and it's very, very easy to cut away the trails if I don't want it to be connection in between some holes. Then I just take a drill bit, 4mm, and just spin it with my fingers on the back side where the traces are. And I remove the via through the hole and the traces for the copper. It disappears with just 3-4 turns with the drill between your fingers. I'm trying to make this board universal, so I'm actually doing some jumpers here, and I'm making space to put inverters down on the downward parts of the perf board, and the 6 rightmost LEDs, they are actually made in this circuit now, buffered so that I can connect them with an active high signal, as we should do. The rest of these LEDs will only be usable with active low signals, as I haven't put no inverters in space here yet. But the jumper means that I can either couple the wire to the topmost part of the board, then I will power this with an active low signal, and if I connect them down with the inverters, as we have the possibility to do on the outmost right, then I can power them with an active high signal. And I think I have the 10 leftmost LEDs, they are green, and the 10 rightmost are red. I hope. It's very difficult to see with these transparent LEDs. You can't really see the color until you turn them on, and I did try, but I had some surprises earlier on this. I was also wondering if I should put some 7-segment displays on this, but I probably won't, because I have some 7-segment displays that are getting quite rare, and I do have some Chinese ones that I've bought recently, but those are quite big and will take so much space that I can't get place for all the inverters that I need to put there. So I probably won't. And I don't need to use an inverter gate. I can also power this by a transistor down on the strips on the bottom side of the board. So I might do that on the rest of the gates. We have to see. But this is what we need for now. We are going to use this in the next episode. And this is all the connections and LEDs we need for that episode. Yes, that was my 15th episode. Hope you liked the content. I am going to continue a few more episodes. I've gotten some more views lately, and I do have to produce up some episode this weekend. Otherwise I won't be able to make an episode for each day for next week. I really won't have the time, so there might be some shorter episodes, we have to see. But thanks for watching, hope to see you again tomorrow.